What's up, everyone? I'm the Kaiju no Kami, and this is my top 10 movies of 2019. Now, do remember that this is my list, no one else's. Therefore, it's my movies, my favorites that were the best of the year, and I have not actually seen everything that has come out in 2019. Like, I definitely want to see Uncut Gems and Parasite. I have not had the chance to see them for one reason or another, so they're not going to be on this list, which is a shame because I've heard they're really good. But then again, you never know. They might not be better than the ones I've already put on this list. I'm just going by what word of mouth is saying about these two movies. Whatever the case may be, most of these movies, all except one I believe, I've already done a quickie review of, so I'm not going to really go into a lot of detail on why I love this movies or the movies on this list. I'm just going to give maybe a brief description or something of what I liked about it, and that's going to be it. So let's kick this review off with number 10. DC has finally understood what it means to make a superhero movie and do it right. Hence why Shazam is number 10 on my list. I had a lot of fun with this movie. It was enjoyable, it was engaging, just a good time all around. It may not be the greatest or deepest superhero movie ever, but it was a fun one. Number 9. Happy Death Day was an interesting concept because it was Groundhog's Day in a slasher film, so the girl would get killed and then just reset the day over and over. Happy Death Day to You continues that trend, but also adds a sci-fi twist to it and puts in more ideas, more concepts, kind of building on this mythology on why the day was actually repeating itself, not just because it was repeating itself over and over. It was really engaging, really unique, and just a good time all around. I am really impressed with how thought-provoking this franchise is becoming when it could have just been a generic slasher gore fest. Not to mention the main actress in these films is really, really good and can carry the movie on her own, even when she's not with all her other friends. That takes real skill, and that is why Happy Death Day to You made this list. Number 8. Jordan Peele did an amazing job with Get Out, and he continued that trend when he did Us, which is about a bunch of doppelgangers that finally have gotten sick of having to hide underground, and they come out to remove their counterparts so they can become the real ones. Number 7. If you told me that Rian Johnson, the guy who did crap like Looper and The Last Jedi, was going to be on my list, I would have laughed at you going, nah, Knives Out is just going to be a generic war fest. But holy crap, Knives Out was really, really good. Daniel Craig was at the top of his game in this one, especially with his southern accent, just like he did in Logan Lucky a few years earlier, and it worked. And the whole movie was engaging, was entertaining, just well-rounded all around. If you have not seen Knives Out, check it out. Number 6. This movie just seemed to come out of the blue, out of nowhere, and ended up getting so good reviews, we had to go see it, and when we did, it blew us away, and that is Ready or Not. We were not ready for Ready or Not. It was intense, it was suspenseful, it knew when it needed to be comedic to release some of that tension, and it just worked overall really well. Every single scene had great moments to it, just such a good movie, and like I said, it came out of nowhere. I never even heard of it until 2 weeks before it came out. Number 5. Next up on the list is the sequel to The Shining, Dr. Sleep. This one I wasn't sure really what to think of going in. I read all these things about it and I'm just like, I don't know. How are they going to make this work? And then apparently they reworked the book with Stephen King to make it fit with the Kubrick movie, which was the most ingenious thing to do because that last third act was so good. And overall, it was just a great time. Yes, there were some plot holes in it, but I had a blast with this. It had suspense, it had action, it had tension, it had all that good stuff. Number 4. Next on the list was 10 years in the making, and that is Avengers Endgame. This continues where Infinity War left off. It concludes the Thanos saga, the Infinity Stone saga, and does it very nicely. It was such a great movie, a lot of great character development, some characters that died you were kind of sad for, other ones you got new characters and you cheered for. All around, just a good, amazing time. Number 3. While I loved Avengers Endgame, I actually thought SpiderMan Far From Home was the better movie. I loved how they did Mysterio. He was well developed, well acted. Jake Gyllenhaal did an amazing job. Tom Holland continues to impress as Spider-Man. I just love his entire personality, the awkwardness, the silliness, everything I come to expect from a high school age Spider-Man. And the movie itself was well written, well shot. If there were any complaints, it would really be on some of the CGI scenes, but every issue that I had with Homecoming was pretty much rectified in this one, and it just gave us more Spider-Man, which is always a good thing.
Number 2.
I love Breaking Bad, I love Better Call Saul, but I had some reservations on El Camino. However, El Camino ended up being a phenomenal epilogue I never knew I needed, never knew I wanted, but I am glad it exists because holy shit, it was so damn good. If you love Breaking Bad and you love Better Call Saul, this is definitely one you need to check out. It's on Netflix. I wish I had gotten to see it in theaters because it was that good, but oh well, that sucks. Whatever. El Camino is not one to miss, although the only negative it does have against it is if you have not seen Breaking Bad, you're not going to understand anything that's going on in this movie.
Honorable mentions.
Some honorable mentions include Toy Story 4, The Kid Who Would Be King, Missing Link, Joker, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Number 1.
If you follow me on social media, you probably already know what my number 1 movie of the year is, because this movie just engaged me all around. I saw it twice in theaters. I sat there engaged the entire time. I was sitting there at the edge of my seat both times. I loved it. I don't understand why some people didn't like it, but some people do that with movies that are full of character development, especially horror movies, because sometimes people just want to see people die and that's it, which is a shame because It Chapter 2 is hands down the best movie of 2019. Like I said, it was suspenseful. It was full of tense scenes. I sat there like wondering what was going to happen next. I loved every minute I spent with it, and I can't wait to experience chapters 1 and 2 back to back now, especially now that I have gone through the original novel. So now I have experienced all 3 versions of it, and this and chapter 1 are simply the best. With that in mind, what are your top favorite movies of 2019? Let me know in the comments below. Click like, click subscribe, click the bell notification, click whatever else YouTube has you clicking on to support me. You can support me on Patreon at Kaiju no Kami, Twitter at Kaiju no Kami, Facebook Kaiju no Kami, and my website creativitybydesignllc.com. Until next time, bye.